So what a week it has been with this lens. There has been a lot of testing, a lot of different scenarios, but I think it's only fair if you're going to give a review of something, you have to really test it properly. Hello and welcome back for another wild review. I am currently sat in the Scottish Highlands with Eric in a little pod, and it's beautiful, it is stunning. Unfortunately, I didn't get a great night's sleep last night because somebody, I'm not going to mention names, I'm not going to point fingers because that's not who I am. Somebody here kept me awake all night going, I was like, just get a drink, just have a drink. But he was like, so weren't you? So I didn't get a great night's sleep, so hence the tired eyes. And today's review is all about the Fujifilm 50mm f1.0, which is this lovely lens here. So what I've done is I've borrowed this lens from Fujifilm for a week, and I'm going to test it out to the best of my ability, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of a review and my opinion of a week-long test with this lens. So it should be quite interesting. So yes, on that note, I shall crack on and I shall get testing this beauty. See you for now. So I've done some storytelling shots around the place where I'm staying, which is by Loch Tay. And so I've got some snippets which I'll show you in just a minute. I am currently making my way up a Benro called Benro, whatever its name is, I'm making my way up it. So why up a Benro, you ask? Because why not? I like to test my lenses to every element, every realm in my photography. I want to know where its weaknesses lie. I want to know. So this is why I'm testing it everywhere and I'm taking it everywhere, because I want to make sure it performs. Good thing I enjoy it, isn't it? But we will carry on up and I will keep you posted en route. Eric, do you want anything to say? Come here, bud. Oh, well, they are some wise words, hey? Okie dokie, we made it to the top and it is stunning. This Benro sits at 1,240 meters above sea level, and it's just an amazing view, which I will show you just now. But we're gonna have to be quick because there is a rainstorm front coming this way, right towards me. So yeah, it's just my luck. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be quick about this. It was worth the hike, it's really nice. Eric enjoyed it, he's just over there exploring. And I got some pictures on the way up. I'm gutted I didn't bring my telephoto lens, I'll be honest, because there's some beautiful light over that way. But I might get my 50mm out in just a minute, take some quick snaps, and then I gotta get out of here. So, catch you in a bit. The aim of my reviews isn't to discuss the technicalities of a lens, it's to discuss the character and the feel and vibe of a lens. Does that lens take you back in time? Because that's effectively what they are. They're little time machines that reflect your heart at a moment in time. beautiful morning it is here. The sunrise this morning was just like, bah! But I didn't take any pictures because sometimes it's just nice to enjoy it. And I just took it in, had a nice little cup of coffee whilst watching it. It was lovely. We didn't finish our hike last night till about 9:30 at night. I didn't get much sleep, as you can probably see, because somebody over here was still making lots of noises. Now, I don't know how something so small can make so much noise, but he does. The lens performed absolutely magically. It did so well. I was testing it with landscape shots, with portrait, self-portrait and dog portrait, and some storytelling, and it did fantastic on all of them. It was actually really enjoyed using it. It kind of brought out my creativity, which I like, and I really like it for that. It's a strong point for the lens. Yeah, I don't know where the next location will be for the next shots or the next test, but you shall find out shortly. See you soon. Hello and welcome back to the wild. So I'm just heading up to a location at the minute where I'm going to try out some self-portrait shots with the 50mm, which I'm really excited about. Hence the crown, because it's a prop, but I didn't want to put it in my bag and then potentially crush it. Don't crush your crown. So I'm going to do some self-portrait stuff. I'm going to use my time lapse, my phone, self-timer, and then I'm going to do some video stuff as well and get a test of everything. And I'm also going to shoot with a wider aperture because I want to see if it's got that dreamy and creaminess, which I love about my 56mm. So that is the plan. Dreamy, creamy, fairy vibe, forest vibe. I want a really nice dreamy feel. So we're going to see if it can match it. I want to see if it can match that vibe. Yeah, so I'm going to head on up with my crown on, enjoying this. It's a lovely day. It's really windy, so I think this is actually going to be quite cool for the photos. But it's beautiful. Just look up into those trees up there. Look how gorgeous they all are.
In the evening you've been calling. In the evening you've been calling. In the evening you've been calling.
There's been a lot of testing and a lot of figuring out what's good and what's not. But yeah, I'm currently walking in the rain in this beautiful forest. Another one of my favourites. But yeah, it's lovely. I love walking in the rain. It's very refreshing and invigorating. Pro number one, and I think this is one of the main strengths of this lens, its ability to be able to shoot at that f1.0, but also its ability to keep that clarity and sharpness and magic at that wide aperture. Definitely one of its strengths, especially with the filming and the self-portraits. I was just amazed. Oh, is Eric sneezing? And I just found myself wanting to shoot more at f1 because of it. And when you get a lens that excites you and you find its strength and you want to keep shooting at that strength, personally I find that's a really good sign of a good lens. So this links me on to my second point, which is sharpness. Now this lens has cracking sharpness. I literally can't complain. If I haven't showed samples, I'll show you some more in just a minute to explain what I mean. And it's not just about sharpness, it's the depth of the clarity of that sharpness and the details you can see and its refinement when you zoom in and you're like, ooh. So it definitely ticks the box for me for sharpness and overall image quality. So yeah, it was really, really, really good for that. Excuse the wet hair, it is raining. That's what happens in the rain. So my next point is about the robustness and just quality of this lens, and it feels solid. It's sturdy, it's metal, it feels good. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break in a second, which is great because it costs a lot and you wanna make sure you're getting value for money from this lens. And equally with that, it is weather resistant. I love a weather resistant lens, and I think any lens that costs over £1,000, personally in my opinion, should be weather resistant or made to be weather resistant. And it passed that test as well. Okay, so that takes me on to my next point, which is versatility. And I hope, as I've displayed through this whole review, is that this lens is extremely versatile. And I really like that. For me, versatility is very important in life and in my photography and everything I do. So this lens ticks that box for versatility and sparking creativity, and it does it exceptionally well. And it's a very, very good lens for that. A final point now for the pros of this lens, and that is that it's a prime lens. And I love prime lenses. I like that they're just straightforward. I love the finesse you get with them and that extra little bit of quality. You don't have to stop and start. It just flows nicely because you can just carry on. You don't have to worry about adjusting focal length. You don't have to faff with a prime lens. So there's less faffing and more snapping, which I like. I don't want to faff. This is a strong point as well. Primes are fantastic, and this is a fantastic prime. Yeah. Point number one for this lens is the autofocus. So sometimes for me, I found the autofocus to be a little bit sluggish, and I've only got my other lenses to compare this against, and they're quite sharp and snappy. Whereas this one, I felt it struggled at times to get focus and really recognize what I was focusing on, and sometimes a little bit noisy with it. But it's important to remember that I use the XT3, and it might be better with newer models. So that's also something to bear in mind. Okie doke, so that takes me on to my next point, which is just the size and the weight of the lens. There's no denying it, this lens is a chunky monkey. She is a big lens. If that's not an issue for you, then that's great. But for me personally, I like to carry a lot of lenses. So for me, I can't really add to the extra weight. Okie doke, so that leaves me to conclude this very intense review and discussion of the Fujifilm 50mm f1. I think it's a fantastic lens. I've loved using her. I think she's been great on every element. And if you want to get her, I think you wouldn't be disappointed at all. For me personally, I already own the 56, so there'd be no point in me buying a 50mm as well. Maybe if I hadn't purchased that one first, I would have got this one. But you wouldn't be disappointed if you got her. She's an incredible lens, magical, beautiful and elegant is the way I describe this lens. If you're struggling to decide between which one to get, I will do a comparison video as well because I think it needs it. There's a lot to unpack and a lot to discuss. So on that note, I shall get going because Eric's wandered off somewhere over there and it's just raining more. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts about the lens if you've got it. I'd love to know how you feel about it. And keep an eye out for the comparison video, which will be up in the next maybe a few weeks' time. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now. Bye-bye.